we're live.
We are live, Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast, and we've got a fun one here tonight. I am Austin Pez Howell, running the show here for you guys tonight. Introduce my fellow Lonely Marks, and then we got some special honorary Lonely Marks tonight. We got JPO Jordan Owens. How's it going, buddy?
What's up? Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. We're back doing the Rankum series here. We've been ranking down tag teams over the last few months here. Whenever we have kind of a free week, that's not like 9 pay-per-views happening.
Yeah,
and we're talking 2010s tag teams tonight here. Lots of things could be said. This is a long list.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what everybody pulls because we can pull from all kinds of different promotions, international promotions, local promotions, several different TV promotions. So it'll be interesting to see where everybody goes. But Richie Goodacre's here. How's it going, Richie?
Yeah, I'm here, always. And good to be here talking 2010s tag teams. There's a plethora of them, and always I'm glad to be doing the series. So should be a fun time.
Yeah, we got our 2 honorary Lonely Marks here for the evening. Corey's done this before, but he's joining us again for Rankum. So how's it going, Corey?
Doing good, Pez. I'm glad to be here. It's always fun to hang out with the Lonely Marks, and I'm gonna try my best not to be all fangirly kind of, because one of my bestest friends. Not Jordan, in the whole world.
No,
you go ahead and introduce him if you like.
His other best friend, Bobby Chrono, is here. I'm in the house, and you guys have officially been invited to a house party, and we're here to rank down some of the greatest tag teams of the 2010s.
Yeah, no, Bobby Chrono here helping us out tonight as well. No, we appreciate you being here. Both of you guys being here, we very much appreciate it. And we're going to get right to it, because we're going to get this out of the way tonight. Usually we do kind of some news, some fantasy stuff, then we get into our main topic. We're going to flip it tonight just so these 2 gentlemen can help us out, and then they can depart and enjoy the rest of their evening. We'll go back to some Lonely Marks business after the fact. We're going to jump right into this Rankum episode. So as you can see on the bottom, tag teams of the 2010s is our topic this evening. Now, how that works is we're going to go around the horn, so everybody will get a chance as we work our way around. We'll start with JPO to my right. We're going to work our way around the circle. When it gets to your turn, you can nominate, say, I nominate so-and-so tag team. Give us a quick kind of minute pitch, why they should be on the top 12, because we're going to be nominating 12 right up front, and then we'll commence to the ranking after that. Once it's filled up with 12, that's it. And they'll kind of get their pitch, and we'll go on the horn, and you'll say yay or nay, agree or disagree. Should they be part of that 12, and kind of why or why not? And of course, a majority thing. So if you get 3 out of the 5, at least it'll make the list. And then again, what we're doing is with 2010. So it's only that tag team's accomplishments from 2010 to 2019. You cannot say, because then they went on to, in 2022 do this, that, or the other, or they did this in 2008. Because we've already done tag teams of the 2000s, we've done tag teams of the 90s, and when we did those, it's only that specific decade of their accomplishments in that decade. So keep that in mind, just that decade of accomplishments, and whatever reasoning you want to make for them being on the list. So that's how it's going to work. 3 out of 5 gets you on the list. And then, we'll run through some honorable mentions after we get a full 12. Then we'll come into the ranking. I'll kind of explain a little more how that goes once we get there. If you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and get this bad boy started. I'll go last, so elect to JPO is to my right here on the screen. So JPO, kick us off. Who is your first nomination for a great tag team of the 2010s? What do we got?
I'm not just purposely sniping Richie here. I don't know if this would have been your first vote, but I'm going with them boys. I'm going with Mark and Jay Briscoe here. 13-time champions. Literally almost half their reigns are in this decade. 6 of their reigns either start or finish in this decade alone here. They also won over to New Japan, won those tag titles. They returned to Combat Zone, won those tag titles. Some match of the year contenders, and that's just overall, not even just tag match of the year contenders, but even just match of the year contenders in general here. 2010s was definitely a top tier decade for the boys, the Briscoes.
All right, Corey, yay or nay to man up with the Briscoes?
Definitely the Briscoes. They're on my list, and they absolutely should be on the list.
All right, Bobby, yay or nay?
Oh yeah, they're definitely on there. He sniped mine for sure. That was my top list. That was top of the list. Jay Briscoe, multiple-time world champion. Mark Briscoe, just Mark Briscoe, one of the best tag teams of all times. I believe by the end of that decade, they were a 9-time tag team champion in Ring of Honor. So, goodness, you got to just look at the tag team accomplishments just for that decade alone. Not
They're
even
finishing their 11th reign by the end of the decade here, and like I said, at
The
least 6 of
11?
them are actually in that decade too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. They get 2 more to end up with 13 after that. Yeah.
All right, Richie, yes or no to the Briscoes?
Yeah, they're yeah, no, they're phenomenal. They're just the longevity, because obviously we nominated them in the 2000s as well, and then, yeah, but yeah, this is where they definitely got cooking here, in the 2010s, and yeah, they're just such fun to watch, just fantastic matches, and just a very prolific tag team. Yeah, one of the, will probably go down as one of the, I don't know, probably an all-time tag team, to be honest. So yeah, definitely yes.
No, yeah, 1,000% to the Briscoes. They are the tag team you think about when you think about Ring of Honor. It's literally the first team that comes to mind when I think about them. And yeah, they carried this tag team division, had amazing matches with everybody. So yeah, they're high up on my list, a shoe in for the Briscoes. So the Briscoes will be your first tag team out of the 12. Corey, we go to you, sir. What is your nomination?
You can't nominate the House of Spades. I already told you.
Come on.
We're not allowed to nominate them.
Wait a
Bobby's
second.
right here.
You
That would
can't
be
nominate
unfair.
us because we weren't around in 2010. All right, that's the only
Okay, we'll nominate you
reason
next
why.
decade. Next decade.
That's
Next
the
decade.
only reason why.
So I haven't. Whenever I've done this before, and I did the same thing again this time. I didn't really like rank them myself, just because I have a hard time doing that. So I got the ones that I like. Anyway, I'm gonna pick from my list. I'm gonna pick a team that was already an established team by the time the 2010s came around, but they were able to really change themselves and become something brand new and really went on a legendary run. I'm talking about Matt and Jeff Hardys, and especially when they became the Broken Hardys and went on their expedition of gold and really kind of shook a lot of things up for 2 or 3 years. I mean, it got them a job with WWE again. It was something that was really, really big and really popular and a lot of fun. And it was a good reinvention of the team, and kind of took something that fans already were kind of into, but was kind of like, all right, well, we've seen all we can see from these guys. And then Matt just kind of took all of that and was like, well, how about this? So I'm going to go with the Broken Hardys.
All right, Bobby, they made the list for our 2000s tag team. Do they make 2010s for you?
Oh, they're definitely making 2010s.
Mhm.
Like, oh my goodness. They were in TNA for a while. Jeff Hardy had his problems, overcame those problems, and for a while he was good. And this was the point where they were on fire. Like Corey said, the Broken Hardy gimmick basically reinvented their careers. And that was after Matt Hardy had finally gotten his due and got his world championship that he deserved. Everybody knows Matt Hardy deserves a world championship. But honestly, I just remember being in the crowd for WrestleMania when they finally came back, and just the explosion from that crowd. It showed. Yeah, oh my goodness. So it was just that moment doesn't just come from just any old tag team. They're special, and they were able to go from the 90s into the 2000s into the 2010s and become something just as memorable as they were when they did TLC.
All right, yeah. So it's a yes from Bobby. Richie?
Yeah, Hardy's are going to be the MVPs of this whole series, because they made the 90s, they definitely made 2000s. Yeah, gonna the 2010s are cooking. I'm gonna say yes, but then you can get build a solid case when they do the last one of the series with the best current tag teams. They're still up there because they're doing pretty good work now. Still cooking to this day. So yeah, I think that the Hardy is fantastic, especially in this decade with the broken stuff. I think they sort of they're the first people that started the whole the cinematic thing. Pretty much all they definitely they were innovators for we even thought COVID was going to be a thing, and then they were innovative. Matt Hardy at least was an innovator of that, and yeah, they're just some really creative matches, and yeah, but the tag team was just found new ways to invent themselves, and yeah, no, really, definitely yes.
Yeah, no, 100% yes. They're on my list as well. Yeah, that expedition of gold was such a fun thing to watch them bounce around all the different indie promotions, picking up tag team gold, and yeah, eventually making their way to like Ring of Honor and whatnot, fighting the Bucks. And yeah, I was at that JPO might have been. I was at the WrestleMania where they came back when the New Day announced them, as the
That's what we're
surprise
saying.
tag team,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. Like, and that was a huge pop, like, and a really genuine surprise, like, oh my God, they're back. Like, that's so awesome because they had just wrestled a crazy ladder match and done their thing that weekend. So, yeah, and yeah, just as popular and again able to reinvent themselves with the broken stuff. So yes, 100% for Hardys. JPO.
I'm actually of the decades. This wasn't one I was not. I wouldn't say hesitant on because I do think there's a large gap where they're actually kind of separate for this decade here. But there is that kind of like those couple like 2-3 years where like they're doing Ring of Honor, they're doing TNA, and they're coming back to Mania, and they're even having a couple good like WWE matches. Even though their title reigns are kind of short here, so it's a definite yes. But weirdly enough, one of the smaller yeses for the Hardys. If that makes sense.
Okay. All right, but it does get 5 yeses for the Hardys, so the Hardys do make this list. All right, so we'll put them with the Briscoes. Bobby, what do you got?
I feel like I'm gonna get the first no on this, but I'm gonna have to go with Beer Money. James Storm and Robert Roode, one of the sleeper tag teams from TNA. I believe that Beer Money was having some pretty excellent matches with the likes of Team 3D, the Motor City Machine Guns. You had LAX there. They ended up winning the tag team championships. I believe it was 5 times, if I'm not mistaken. And then they both went on to become world champions in the company. So, and Bobby Roode became the longest reigning TNA world champion at that time, then went on to go over to NXT, have a great NXT run. Don't really want to talk about his main roster run, but I do believe that Beer Money is one of the better tag teams of the 2010s.
All right, Bobby putting Beer Money out there. Richie.
Yeah, man, you won't get enough from me because if you watch just to fill you in on the show, I've said it a few times. Beer Money is one of my favorite tag teams of all time. So Beer Money is going to get a hell yes from me. Beer Money is great, I think that there's two guys that sometimes you just try things, you pair people together, you're like, oh, let's see this works, and it just works. The chemistry is it's off the charts. They're both entertaining in their own right and great wrestlers, and they just meshed well as a tag team. I think they're fantastic. So definitely yes for me.
I'll give it a slight yes. It kind of barely skirts in because a lot of this, what you're talking about, is like 2010 and 2011. So it's like barely there before they break up. But I think that's still eligible because in the 2000s one we had teams that were there, like Edge and Christian for like 2000 and 2001. So I'm not disqualifying it at all. And I've got even other tag teams here that made a big splash for a year or two, and I think that's enough if you do enough within that. They are one of the biggest ones associated with TNA, and one of the more recognizable ones. So I'll give it a slight yes. I will say if it goes to the 12, it's going to be lower on the list for me personally. JVO.
Yeah, no, I do 100% get what Pez is saying. If this is one of those unfortunate things where you just do the decades, that they're kind of that weird like middle gap where like if you did 2005 to 15, it's a no brainer. I think like it's like yeah, absolutely, because like half of it's in like 2008, 2010, and then like the rest is a little bit later on. But no, I did look it up here. Well, over 250 days as champions between 2 different reigns, and they do dabble back and forth too in 2014, 2016. So they do make a even kind of returns as a team here. A great example of like at the time it was like, oh, okay, this is just simply I got nothing for these 2 singles guys, and it ends up being kind of gold in both in the ring and the promos. So yeah, no, I think they still definitely count. They're on my list.
All right, Corey.
The funny thing is I was gonna put them on my list, and because I was a big fan, and then I thought about it was 2010, 2011 when they were breaking up, and so I was like, I don't know if I'll put it on there or not. So I'm gonna say yes, just because I wanted them to be on the list to begin with. So, but I kind of agree with you, Pez and Jordan, that they'll probably be a little lower if they get onto the 12. But I love the team itself. I thought they were fantastic, and they, like you said, Jordan, took something that probably shouldn't have worked and made it work really, really well.
All right, we are 3 for 3 so far. Beer Money does make the list. Richie, what is your first nomination?
So yeah, coming off beer money, I'm going to nominate people to a team that came together in a sort of similar way to people that that were sort of put together that I didn't know anything for, but they made it work. I'm going to go the bar. The bar Sheamus and Cesaro were kind of feuding for quite a while there. They had like a best of, I'm pretty sure they had a best of 7, a best of 5 series, and then it's like, oh, what are they gonna do? And then I think Mick Foley came out, and made them be, and forced them to be a tag team. Like, oh, that's I don't know, that's an odd direction, and they made it work. I think that might have lasted only a few months, lasted a couple of years, and they were great. They meshed well. They just had great, wonderful chemistry. It works and it worked in like every way. And then had a catchphrase. I think that it was just one of those things where it's like, you try these two people out. Maybe you didn't have anything much for them as singles. You put them together, and it's just I know they're close friends. Outside the ring, and it clicked, and I think that they had a really good run. So I'm gonna go the bar.
Yeah, I think this is a case of, because we don't always gel with those tag teams where they're like these makeshift tag teams of like singles, wrestlers that get kind of put together in a team. It can either hit or miss. We've seen, cases where it kind of works one way or the other. And I think this is one where, it kind of accidentally stumbled into something that really worked. Yeah, these two guys who were feuding. And I don't mind the storyline of like two guys feuding and then becoming an amazing tag team because they know each other so well. Two big bruisers. Yeah, with Cesaro and Sheamus, and it ended up working. And I wasn't even watching a lot of WWE at the time, and I was still aware of the bar. That was how good I knew they were. I think 5 title reigns between Raw and SmackDown, so pretty quickly. So I'll say yes to the bar. JPO.
This is literally maybe like my 13th pick. I think they're a good pick. They definitely came to mind like when I said the makeshift team originally that ends up just really working out. They had some good matches and great matches. Again, though, there's other teams that I think longevity and match-wise can kind of outdo them, in my opinion. So it is a no for me.
Okay, got a first no of the evening, Corey.
The bar is on my list. I was thinking the same thing about, makeshift tag teams thrown together because I thought about beer money as well, and then I was like, oh my god, the bar. It kind of gave a shot of adrenaline in both those guys' careers at the time, and really gave them something to do that they really sank their teeth in, even when they weren't really given they came up with all of that stuff on their own because they weren't really given a whole lot of direction, so they did that kind of stuff and really made the best of it. Had a great run. I get what you're saying, Jordan, but I can't. I'm too big of a fan. I got to say yes to that one too. So yes to the bar.
All right, Bobby.
All right. As much fun as I had watching the bar, it was kind of just it reminded me that they were two really good singles wrestlers that needed to have more done with them. It was one of those things where I saw Cesaro from the time where he first got signed and he won the United States Championship, and I was like, this dude's a freak of nature. Then I went back and watched his matches with Claudio Castagnoli, and I was like, oh, this dude has always been a freak of nature. And I just became a huge fan of him. And with Sheamus, I remember seeing Sheamus win the WWE Championship over and over and over again, and then the World Championship. And I was just like, I feel like they could really do more with them, and they're just kind of throwing them a bone because they don't really know what to do with them. And it was kind of at that time where it was in a lull of like tag teams, so they were kind of just, like you said, just put together, and it was great. But as much as I would love to put them on the list, I cannot agree. But I'm glad that they are getting the recognition that they deserve.
Okay. So it is 3 out of 5 though, so it's barely skirts in with 3 votes. So,
Well, me and Bobby are better friends than Corey and Bobby.
I'll just
Yeah.
set the bar, right?
all right.
Yeah, we
There you
whatever.
go.
Me and Bobby agree more than you and Bobby. We're better friends.
I'll just watch your mouth, all right?
All right. So yeah, as far as me, yeah, it's hard to choose. There's some good stuff here. I'm going to make a Freebird rule argument for the Shield to be on this list in 2013. I think the Shield, both in the iterations of whenever they wrestle either as Rollins and Roman Reigns or Rollins and Ambrose, they won tag team titles in both those iterations. Out of this faction, no matter what kind of iteration they put them in, whether it was a 6-man tag situation, or the actual just straight up tag team. I think the Shield, really came in 2013 and just kind of dominated a lot of the storylines and just kind of really came in and killed it. The feud with the Wyatts was awesome. And just their kind of individual tag runs was really fun. And launching all these guys' careers. I mean, look where Seth Rollins is now, Roman Reigns, Moxley over in AEW. I mean, launching all these guys and hugely popular, but also really great, in there. And one tag team of the year and several, different, Observer and Pro Wrestling Illustrated and whatnot. So I'll make an argument for a Freebird rule thing here of the Shield. JPO, what do you say?
So this happens every time where if you had said no to the bar, I would have said yes, but now I have to say no because now the Shield has fallen off my list. Because again, I think it is kind of a weird, murky thing to also consider. Like, okay, I love their 6-mans, but I don't really count their 6-mans in this category. It's the one tag title reign, which was almost over 100 days, but it's for that one hot 1 or 2 years, and then everyone's a singles guy. I think there's other tag teams that I'd much rather see on the list that are real set tag teams for a longevity. So it's a no for me.
Okay, Corey.
I thought about the Shield too, and then it kind of had the same kind of thought that Jordan has, and I get. I mean, the impact is undeniable of the entire faction, but again, it wasn't as they were more. It just felt like more of a trio, even though they were tag champs, Reigns and Rollins. So I'm going to say no to the Shield.
Bobby?
I feel like I have to kind of agree because with the Shield, I feel like they were stronger as a unit of an entire faction. Their tag team runs were, well, the first tag team run was really good because I do remember when they beat Team Hell No to win the tag team titles. The match was fantastic, and they went on a really good run, which ended with them losing the titles to Cody Rhodes and Goldust, if I remember correctly. So that was a really solid run, but after that, they had the feud with the Wyatts and they had the feud with Evolution, and those were both 6-man feuds. So if you really think about their strongest work, it was as a 6-man unit or as single stars. And then when you think about, I feel like when you did the subsequent tag team titles later on, it was more for a nostalgia act rather than the fact that these are one of the strongest tag teams in the company. So I am going to have to just agree and say no on that one.
Richie?
I would agree with Pez. I'd actually, I would be alone here saying, it was my first nomination between the bar and I was thinking of the Shield. But because I think, while they're probably known as a faction, probably one of the more successful factions in years, a huge success story, one of the biggest success stories of that decade, sort of turned into like first sort of ballot Hall of Famers. The tag team work, but they're still like, very, dominant in tag teams, and I feel that in tag team action, especially Rollins and Ambrose. So I feel like they were pushed really strong as a formidable tag team. So I would, and they're very memorable. So I would have said yes.
Okay. But 2 votes were not quite there, so Shield is the first one that doesn't make it. JPO, back around to you.
Whether you like them or hate them, I think you got to give it up for the Young Bucks, Mac and Nick Jackson here. They literally made themselves superstars here. Over 1,400 days, they controlled Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's tag team division. From there, they got shots over in TNA. They popped up. They won the Jakara tag titles. They won the Ring of Honor tag titles, House of Glory, IWGP Junior Heavyweight tag team titles, FWE, 2CW, the Never Openweight titles, the Ring of Honor, if I haven't said. Like, they really made themselves stars. They even got that AEW the title right now. No, that's actually 2020. But still, AAA Tag Team Champion before the decade's over with. They put themselves on the map. They got Funko Pops based off literally their indie and Japan work, which is insane. Yeah, I think, again, even if you're not into that style, which to a degree I very much am, because I'm a fan of any style, I think you got to give them props. I think they 100% deserve to be on this list.
All right, Corey, what do you say about the Young Bucks?
Can't talk about the 2010s tag team scene without the Young Bucks, so it's kind of a no-brainer. They should absolutely be on the list.
Yeah, Bobby?
I feel like Jim Cornette's going to have an aneurysm with this one, but yeah, we're going to have to go ahead and put the Young Bucks on the list because it's like Jordan said, whether you like them or hate them, they were the topic on everybody's mind, whether it be with the Funko Pops that were in Hot Topic, the shirts, the tag matches, the Meltzer driver. I mean, listen, they had a lot going for them. So yes, yeah.
Yeah. Richie?
I don't know if you're trying to do a like office reference, but I mean office space reference, but I'm going to do it too. Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and put the Young Bucks on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Young Bucks. I don't think we can make this. This list is incredible without putting them on there. Just the whether you are into that style or not, but their breadth of work and then their success stories throughout this decade is huge. You can't be. It's undeniable. Like and considering they started the start of the decade as Generation Me. So just Max and Jeremy Buck. So and then build into like one of the best tag teams really of all time. So yeah, absolutely, they should be on here.
I say yes to the Bucks on the list. I say no to Rick Knox reffing Bucks matches, but I say yes to Young Bucks, and then them just bringing Rick Knox into AEW because he reffed all their party matches. But yeah, I mean, the Bucks were literally like the indie tag team. I feel like the ones you saw popping up on like every major indie show and stealing the show. There with their matches. So I became aware of them because of their PWG run and kind of dominate over there and spreading that to all the other promotions. So definitely they're on the list.
Yeah.
So
I feel like you and Rick Knox need to have like a boxing match just to get your anger out of it.
It's like, brother, man, like there is rules in tag team wrestling. I know you don't like that, but there are rules like you have to enforce sometimes.
It's crazy because like even if you look back, like even people who are like signed to WWE are like talking about wrestling the Young Bucks. And I'm like, you guys can't do that. You guys are under contract.
I wish. Corey, back around to you, sir. What you got?
All right. So a minute ago, we were talking about a trio that I did not say should be on the list, but I'm going to talk about a trio now that absolutely should be on the list because you can't not have this team. I don't think you can. They're your boys, the New Day, and I mean, come on. I mean, their run in the 2010s is huge, and they really became big, gigantic stars during that decade, and really made a tag team scene in WWE that wasn't that good very entertaining. And or when it was good, they had some good stuff to go off of, but they were the constant during that time, I think. And so yeah, the New Day, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E.
All right, Bobby, what do you say about the New Day?
So with the New Day, I feel like I'm going to have to agree with Corey because the difference between the New Day and the Shield is that the New Day participated primarily in tag team wrestling. So whether it be Kofi and Big E and Xavier, or Xavier and Kofi, they were always in a combination of two with the other person on the outside. It wasn't like with the Shield where they were mostly known for their 6-man chaos. Um, and not only that, but the New Day started out as one of the more hated acts, if you guys remember correctly. Like when they first came out, people were booing the hell out of them. And it got to the point where people had to recognize that they're actually a really good act, and then they started getting the cheers and the love of the fans. So I'm gonna have to agree.
All right, Richie.
Yeah, I think what the case was is like I think they initially it looked like they were going to be like more of like a nation and domination type faction, like more serious, and then they sort of made this pivot into like more like kind of a preachy church, more kind of fun-loving church thing. But I think the mistake is they made the baby faces, and it wasn't catching on, and then the sort of this annoying sort of gimmick. It was too kind of annoying for the crowd, so they turned them heels, and then and New Day just ran with it. And because they were so good at their heel work, as often happens when you're good at your heel work, weirdly you get cheered. So yeah, that was the case with New Day, and then they've literally become one of the best tag teams of all time, and it's a great success story. And then it's just the chemistry. The chemistry is just all there. Like you can tell that they're really close friends. It's just a cool. It's a cool thing all around. And yeah, and it's worked when like it's even now, like obviously Xavier and Kofi have recently departed WWE, but they're departed as a unit. They're synonymous with each other now. They'll go and do their own stuff, but they always come back together. They're always kind of simpatico with each other. So absolutely. So it's while entertaining and just three very charismatic dudes, and it just worked. So absolutely, yes.
So since they're already on the list, I'm going to say no because they're a trios and it's 6-man. I'm going to make the 6-man tags, and I'm going to make the same argument you guys made against me. So fuck you guys, no.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, but I'm also going to make the argument that Bobby kind of nailed on the head. That's what I was thinking, which is, I think of the Shield, my mind's going to trios, then tags. You think of the New Day, it's always tags. I'm not even sure if I can name like a great trio. I don't know if that's a compliment or a backslide, but I think they're 100% belong on the list here.
All right. So New Day was making it anyways. So I just wanted to spite you guys for then right after mine nominating a 3-person tag team. Anyways.
Corey did it.
I can't. The 3 people. I don't know. The New Day. Yeah, Big E, Xavier, Kofi Kingston. This
hey guys,
faction. Yeah.
Let's really piss him off and get the Lucha House Party in.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. So, all right, we're moving on to Bobby. What's your next shot?
All right, so my next shots. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna pull this one out of just a random bag of tag teams. Let me stop. I'm gonna have to go with the American Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. 2-time Ring of Honor World Champions, 2-time World Champions between the two of them. 2-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. Then you have the 5-time run as the TNA Tag Team Champions. And that was within, 3 years that they were there as a team. But the Wolves go back even a little bit further than that. But since we're just talking about 2010s, you have to just look at all those accolades and just see them as one of the best tag teams of that era. I do also remember that they did have a little bit of a stint in NXT as well, but that was for maybe a cup of coffee.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bobby nominating the American Wolves, Richie.
So it's interesting because I know that how successful they were and how big they are, and I'm more familiar with them sort of individually than I am as tactics. I'm not just for pleasure. I'm not I didn't watch a lot of Ring of Honor at this time. It just wasn't as accessible in Australia, so it was just hard. So, but I know I get their sort of impact, and I don't. Yeah, makes a list, I totally get it, and I respect them both as wrestlers, and but I would, not on my list personally, but I would say no. But again, that's probably just on me personally. So, but I'd say no.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Richie. It's kind of more of an individual like ignorance on my part. I'm gonna say no. JP.
Oh,
No, don't put it on me, Ricky Bobby. I'm torn. When I first started putting my list of teams together here, they were definitely one that I thought like might definitely make it here. Because they're kind of some like their juicy Ring of Honor stuff doesn't really count. Their TNA stuff definitely really counts here. They were kind of running that division for a couple years. It's really close. It's whether or not I want to flip flop on my list for one other team. You know what? I'm gonna leave it to Corey. I'm gonna give it a yes.
Well, it's on Corey.
Oh boy. Well, I'm kind of in the same boat of not having a whole lot of accessibility to Ring of Honor at that time in my life. So I didn't really get a whole lot of exposure to them in there. I definitely heard a lot about them through their TNA run. And even then, though, I still had a hard time watching TNA around that time too. So I'm only because of ignorance, I'm gonna say no.
Oh, you guys missed out on some good graps. You guys missed out on some great graps. Oh my goodness!
I'm sure. I've watched a couple of clips of this stuff, but I never really had the chance to watch any of it. So
yeah. All right. So unfortunately, American Wolves do not make the list this time. Moving on to Richie.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But I just thought they made an impression in a short run, and it was just another. The theme of teams didn't work, but they didn't. Just pairing these two up, I'm gonna go Team Hell No. Team Hell No, it's like it's two people who are very polar opposites. Like Daniel Bryan and Kane. I feel like. But I shouldn't really, in hindsight. Kane is really good at just being paired with like people he puts, and kind of
RVD, Hurricane, just like random people throughout the years.
And then like making a good tag team out of it. But they're just the whole thing of like making a whole thing of like we don't really like each other, but then we secretly do, and then just the having the great having great, having fantastic, just having all around, just being very very entertaining. The whole no yes thing was fun, and they really got over, and I think it definitely. I think it put a new. They weren't really doing much of Kane at the time. I think it put a new lease on on Kane's career, and I think they had really good matches, and it was just sort of very a thing. You throw it together. You go, oh, let's see if this works, and it fucking did. I think people are still doing the hug it out thing because of team. I feel like it came from Team Oh No, hug it out, and then so I don't know. I think that I think that their impact in such a short amount of time. Warrants at least a nomination. So, Team Hell No.
This is one I super debated because I think they're super fun characters and gimmicks. They were only together for like a year and only had one tag team run, like one tag team championship. So, if I said yes to that, I feel like I'd be. I don't know. Like we're just going on like, oh, they were a fun gimmick for a little while. Like, and there's another one I have that, but they literally don't have any championships. So like, I don't know about this. I feel like you need the accomplishments as well in there somewhere. So as much as I think they're a lot of fun, I'm going to say no. JPO.
No, I'm with you on the struggle, Pez. Again, kind of like the Wolves, when I started doing this list and I saw Team Hell No, I was like, oh my God, I love the Team Hell No. They're going to definitely make the list, right? And then you start compiling the list of all the possibilities, and you're like, shit. Because, like, again, I don't even know if they really even had great matches. I think they had good matches. Like it's more of a fun gimmick. The backstage stuff with Harold, Scorpio Sky, they're hugging it out. I even got to do the yes no with Daniel on Raw, so that's my claim to fame. So like I love them. If we were doing like the tag team of the year, they would be a shoe-in of like that particular year or two. But it's too short-lived for me to compare to everyone else that I think had like years and multiple reigns or multiple companies that we have said. So it is a no for me.
Okay, Corey.
Hell no. Just a no. Just a slight no, not a hell no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no.
I wish it was a hell yes.
All right, go Bobby.
Okay, so I feel like with Team Hell No, they had that really good period. What was it, 2012 where they came in, or 2013?
Yeah. 12,
so that run from 2012 to 2013 was great. After that, it was primarily just focused on Daniel Bryan's singles run. I really do think that with the initial run, it was great, but they didn't really stick around too much to leave an impact, so I'm gonna have to say no.
All right.
I expected that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. No, I debated it. It was on like my outside debate, kind of, a noteworthy one. So hopefully I can redeem myself in this one. Can we all just say yes to the Usos, make it fast, and just move on? Okay, the Usos, yes. Okay, we'll move on. All right, JPO?
Yeah.
No, I'll make it quick. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Corey? Yeah. Bobby? Usos?
100%, yeah.
Richie?
Yeah.
I mean, we could just save some time. Yes, the Usos fucking dominated everything in the goddamn WWE in the 2010s. So yeah, the Usos, yeah, 100%. How many tag team reigns? Like 14, whatever the fuck. I don't know. How many matches with the New Day? The Usos and the New Day were the tag team feud. I feel like every other pay per view had an Usos New Day match at some point. Like when you go back and look at the pay per views. But yeah. So we'll leave it to that if you want to, and I'll cede my time to you guys. JPO, what's your next nomination? Usos make the list.
All right, so usually I try to prep while you talk and everyone votes. So you threw me a curveball there. Next up here, they previously just ended their tenure for now because one of them went to AEW. I want to nominate DIY. My boy Johnny Gargano. Who after an Evolve show, we were having dinner and he was like, "Oh, I can only have a grape. I'm on a diet." And I was like, "Fuck you, Johnny." And Tommaso Ciampa DIY. I think they just put on such bangers as a team. Ended up being spilt over into a great feud as well here. But this was another one that they started off in the Cruiserweight Classic as opponents, and then they just had this tremendous chemistry that was just kind of undeniable. This is one of those teams that I don't think it started off as even let's give them something to do. It was like, oh, let's see what these two can do. And I think they put on such classics in NXT, 3 different runs with those NXT tag titles in the decade here, over 150, almost 200 days. So yeah, I'll go DIY.
All right, Corey, DIY.
Absolutely, DIY is on my list. You can't talk about Black and Gold NXT without those two in either the team or their rivalry together. So they were a huge impact at that time, especially in NXT and WWE. So 100% DIY should be on the list.
All right, Bobby.
Yeah, DIY. I wanted to be like, no, we should make more space. I can't deny DIY. Like, let's be honest. Like, from the time of their initial inception and them just going after the tag team championships against the Revival, and then the turn. Oh my goodness, the turn when Tommaso Ciampa finally turned. DIY held down an entire brand for a solid, I would say, a solid 3-year period. And it was it's crazy because like even while Tommaso Ciampa was out, they were still holding down the brand together. Like they were just like, okay, when's Ciampa coming back? When Ciampa's coming back? But like you have to give them their props and they have to make this list.
Richie.
Yeah, I think they're fantastic. Like DIY was Black and Gold NXT. I think they're the sort of, it's very cliche, but the heart and soul of it. And I mean, the theme song is called Heart and Soul, isn't it? Johnny Gargano's theme song is called Heart and Soul. They were the heart and soul of the Black and Gold brand. The big tag team that you look forward to. And weirdly enough, I don't think did they actually ever get like. I don't think they got called up in it. They didn't get called up in this, but they got called up like later on, like but like kind of more separately, which was weird. But yeah, but these were they're fantastic. Their matches with Authors of Pain, Undisputed, like was it Undisputed Era. It's just they're and they're just fantastic, and the chemistry's off the charts, and like they'll go down at least as the I think best tag team that's ever been in NXT for sure. So absolutely, if we're gonna have, there's a few teams from that era we could put in, and I think this is the best one to put in, and then I think it has to make the list.
Yeah, I'll say yes. It's one or two kind of NXT centric, sort of tag teams of the 2010s that I would have nominated. So yeah, I'll say yes. So DIY makes the list, and that is number 8 on the list. So we're inching our way closer to 12. I got 4 spots remaining. Corey, can you get one of them?
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Motor City Machine Guns. They started with each other, I think, mid-late 2000s, and then but the 2010s and in the teens, they kind of blew up and started winning titles all over the place, all over the world. They were, of course, TNA. They were winning titles in New Japan. They were winning, they were just doing having a legendary run and really cemented themselves as a real iconic and influential tag team. So I'm gonna go with Shelley and Sabin.
All right, Bobby, what do you say about the Motor City Machine Guns?
See, that one is kind of tough because with the Motor City Machine Guns, they had that tag team run in 2010 to 2011. And then in 2012, Alex Shelley actually left TNA.
Yeah, it's true.
So, and don't get me wrong, Alex Shelley was still doing tag team things, but he was with Kushida at that point. He was doing Time Splitters.
Yeah.
So, it's tough because I really love the Machine Guns, and if we were going off their total body of work, I'd have to say yes. But since we're going from 2010 to 2019, I'm going to have to actually, unfortunately, disagree with the voice of the house. What is going on here? And it's about a tag team I really wanted to put on this list.
All right, well, 1-1 so far, Richie.
I actually totally forgot about the other time. Yeah, actually, I did leave and then Time Splitters because I was tempted to just say no to just take. I mean, I wasn't going to say no, but like just tempted to say no to take the piss out of former Landing Marker Jacob, who wants us on this. Who if he was here, he'd be having on this. This would be his first nomination. But like, and yeah, they're a fantastic tag team. But yeah, there is a big period of time where they're not tag teaming, but I don't know, man. Like that couple of years where they are together, man. Like, undeniably the best tag team working. I think there's a reason why, like, and I'm talking about this today, but like the reason to tell you about the release of them was so these days were felt so heavy because I think they established themselves like in the mid 2000s, but also at the start of 2010 as one of the best teams of all time, and just that fantastic workers and then fantastic chemistry. So, given I know it's been a short amount of time, but I would say yes.
I'll split the difference and I'll say no, because I think if you go with the 2000s, I'd say yes. But yeah, I make a point about they've had a quick run early in that decade, and then Shelley leaves, and that's a problem because in Ring of Honor they also win the titles, and then Shelley leaves, like in 2016 or 2017. So it's like Shelley seems to always be the problem to like stop the momentum right when they're about to pick it back up again. So yeah, I think 2000s, yes. Especially late 2000s, but I don't know about the 2010s. I kind of debated on this one, and I'm going to settle on no. So I'll leave it up to JPO.
I know what everyone is saying here. And I am on the cusp as well, based on the trajectory, kind of the unfortunate decade part for this team. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna add them to the list here because they do start off with a TNA title run. They have a nice Ring of Honor title run as well. So there is a gap, but as well, like even with like DIY, like and some of the people that have gone in, like at least when they're hot, they're really hot for like a couple years there, and there's at least enough here to where I do think they deserve to be on the list.
All right, so they do barely scrape by and make the list at number 9. So I'm just going to put MCMG in the chat here. All right, Bobby, you are up next. We've got 3 spots left.
Ooh, man, this is tough because I have so many teams on this list still. It's like, who do you even pick? Okay, so I am going to have to go with. I'm going to have to go with the Revival. So let's go ahead and put the Revival on the list because with the Revival, it was like Scott Dawson. I remember watching Scott Dawson get jobbed out in NXT because I used to be a student over at UCF and I used to get a ticket to go to NXT for like $10, and I would just be at the Full Sail in the crowd. And Scott Dawson would be in dark matches, and then they ended up bringing out goodness, what was his name at the time? I remember, I know him now as Cash Wheeler. So they ended up bringing him in at the time, and everybody was just like, okay, these guys can cook. And they ended up winning the tag titles the first time off of the Lucha, goodness. It was Kalisto and Sin Cara. They ended up winning the titles off of them. Lucha House Party.
Yeah.
So they ended up winning the titles off of them, and I was just like, awesome, cool. I like this. And they were just putting on some of the most old school grappling matches of all time. I was like, it kind of reminded me of the old school like Minnesota Wrecking Crew. And I'm a huge fan of that kind of wrestling, so I kind of have to acknowledge just how damn good they are.
All right, so Richie, how about the Revival?
Yeah, again, this is going to be my next nomination. Yeah, like I think that they serve that they served as a good, like they were a good dance partner to DIY. They had those fantastic matches. They started off as like technical the mechanics. They were the mechanic, and then I was like, okay, it's cool to have tag team, but I didn't really pay much attention to them. Like, but then after a while, you're like, oh yeah, these guys are really good, and then just and then they've gone on to just being they've become like the most respected team, like in the business. So and it's just because of putting on absolute classics, especially with tag teams like DIY, Authors of Pain, and things like that. And then this era, really, and they had a really cool thing. And they had a cool theme song. I like that. So I'm going to say yeah.
All right. Revival are on my list. Yeah, and again, another tag team you can make another argument for if we jump ahead to currently, of course, FTR. The Revival are great, and this kind of more old school, just Southern style kind of wrestling tag team. Really good stuff. Yeah, their matches on the takeovers were always bangers. Yeah, like Richie said with DIY or American Alpha, whatever it was. I think they had.
They pulled a good match out of Enzo.
Well, if anybody could, it would be them. There's certain people that can do that. I think that match, the 2 out of 3 falls with DIY, it was like a match of the year candidate, for sure. Just a little mistreated when they got to the main roster. I think we would all agree, and underappreciated. But I'm glad they've kind of refound themselves in AEW. But I'll say yes to the Revival. JPO.
Yeah, no, Revival was going to make my list here as well. Here, great stuff in NXT. Like you said, kind of starting off small with the mechanics and then kind of becoming that team that's kind of undeniable, just based on how good they are inside those ropes here. On my list as well.
All right, yeah, Corey.
They're on my list too. They were very instrumental in all of that NXT stuff that was going on too. They were a big part of getting that hyped up. Definitely mistreated on the main roster, unfortunately. But yeah, you can't deny them. They're just those guys were made to be tag team wrestlers, and they showed it. So yeah, 100%.
All right, so Rival makes the list. 2 spots left, Richie.
Yeah. So for I'm gonna go. I think we're gonna get some white family love here, and specifically, obviously Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. And yeah, like they're obviously they had absolute bangers with the Shield, but like that, I think that they're just a fantastic tag team. They also repackaged themselves as the Bludgeon Brothers, which are really great. And yeah, they're just really eerie. And yeah, they just had a way more like unique presentation, and I think that they just worked as they just really worked as a tag team, and yeah, like it's like when we could have the Freebird argument again, the argument again, but I don't know, man. I think the White family itself, and especially the tag team, were such important, like to this era of tag team, especially in WWE, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. I just want to give them a shout out. And yeah, they're like this. I think they're the second NXT tag team champions all time. So
I think they're the first, actually.
they're the first. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think just their tag team. Them as a tag team, I think they're just really.
No, Richie gets the point.
Nope.
They're second.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, you're their second. Yeah, Neville and Gray. I forgot Neville and Gray were a thing.
Yeah. I forget
My
about
next nomination, Neville and Gray.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, they're a fantastic team, and yeah, that's just they really work. So I'll punt for the Owen. I'll just say Harper and Rowan.
They're fun to watch, but no. JPO.
Good wins a quick pass. I'm trying to trying to stretch my knee.
Richie went on for a while. You had time.
I know. Well, I thought I had another minute with you. No, but unfortunately, I am kind of with Pez on this in a weird way. Team Hell No kind of again comes to mind where like I really had fun with like their looks and the gimmick, but I'm not necessarily like thinking they had like the best of matches. And then NXT runs very short. And then they never really had outside of the Bludgeon Brothers a great reign as the Wyatts. And again, I kind of go more in a way for trios again. Speaking of trios, and I do these two together. I like them, but not on this 12 for me. No.
Corey?
Yeah, I agree with Jordan and Pez. They were fun. They were they were definitely interesting, but they didn't. I think they didn't hit that spot where they would need to be on this list. I think so. No, I'm gonna say no.
Bobby?
Man, this is a tough one. I actually really do like Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. As a tag team, they were really fantastic. I do think it was more of a booking thing for them. It was more so WWE did not know what to do with them, even though they were two really fantastic wrestlers. I actually do agree with Richie on this one, where I'm going to have to give them their props and say that they were one of the best tag teams of the 2010s, because a lot of their work was really solid. They did have a lot of tag team matches that was really memorable, but at the same time, it is one of those things where I feel like they would have been higher up had they had more time with more championship runs or more recognition while they were still here.
So unfortunately, Rowan and Harper not going to make the list this time. Still 2 spots left. I'm going to go with another tag team that kind of followed in the steps of the Young Bucks, where they kind of broke into the indie scene and really dominated the back half of the 2010s and were everywhere. The Lucha Bros. Ray Phoenix and Penta, I think, really burst onto the scene, similar to the Bucks in PWG, in kind of 2015, 2016, started having just banger matches left and right, with the Bucks, with other teams. Win the tag team titles there. And then, again, go on this run where they're winning gold all over the place. They're winning the gold in House of Glory, AAW, MLW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, all before you hit 2020. And just, again, one of the hot tag teams you just see kind of popping up all over the place, kind of similar to the Bucks. Great tag team chemistry, and really great. And of course, great individual runs in different places as well. Lucha Underground and whatnot. But even as a tag team, they accomplished a lot in a couple of years. In the kind of more indie promotions in the 2010s. So I'll go with the Lucha Brothers. JPO.
Funny. I'm watching just for the hell of it in the background. 101 greatest tag teams from Cultaholic, and as you said, Lucha Brothers. Bam! It was on my screen. By the way,
Okay.
I was literally looking at them in their eyes as you said that. But they are organically on my list as well here, man. I think they're another great team that they fought each other a bunch on Lucha Underground, and then people started putting them together, based on real life connections, and they're great. TNA title run. They were the first team to win the MLW titles when the MLW returned, and they had some good matches over there. Finally too, it popping up in AEW and some great matches in the last, in the first year technically of AEW. So I think they belong on the list. I'm a big fan of the Lucha Bros. When they finally get to do it, I know we've been saying it before on the show too, like. Man, when they get to it in WWE, it's gonna be a cool pop because I'm sure sooner or later it's got to happen, right?
Didn't it almost happen late last year? They challenged like Dom and Grande, and then just never happened. Like
I thought they were gonna do something at AAA, and then didn't someone get hurt?
Yeah, and then one of them got hurt. Yeah, Dom got hurt. So it never happened. It was gonna happen. They were teasing it. They came out and they kind of reunited. They had videos, and it's just so. Yeah. I think it will. Soon, like they're gonna, and when they do it, they have to kind of do it in AAA, right? Like for that pop, you know what I'm saying? If we're like, you know what I mean? I think it would work better if they started it in AAA, got them out there and did their thing and kind of reintroduced the world to Lucha Bros in AAA in front of that Mexican audience. I think that would work. But anyway, sorry, it's not a tangent. But Corey.
They 100%. They were on my list, and they were one of the first teams I put on my list. So. Yeah, Lucha Bros. They are. You can't deny them. They had that like you said, has just a ton of stuff happening. So I agree. Sorry, it's late, man. I'm rambling, and I just
we're getting to the end here, so you'll be able to get on here. But Bobby, Lucha Bros.
Lucha Bros are definitely going on the list. They're going on the list. With the Lucha Bros, I do believe a lot of their work is done singles, but they do have just as much tag team work. So I do have to recognize that because my first exposure to them was in Lucha Underground, and they were both singles wrestlers. Like, you would never see Penta and Ray Phoenix in the same ring together unless there was 15 other guys in that ring. So for the most part, I do believe that if you look at their body of tag team work, with them going to MLW, winning the titles there, AEW, ROH, TNA, they've won tag team championships pretty much everywhere they go, and they are two of the most undeniable and recognizable acts. So they're going on the list.
All right, Richie.
Yeah, when we play that, the wrestler with, I guess the wrestler with the corresponding to the letter, and we go, why didn't we think of that? We didn't think of K for K. That's stupid. And then this is what I feel with Lucha Brothers. I'm like, of course, why don't I have my own members? This should have been on the list, and I would say absolutely yes. So Lucha Brothers deserve to be on it.
All right. That is number 11. One elusive spot left. JPO, can you close it out here?
War, War Raiders or Viking Raiders, however you want to put it. War Machine rather.
Viking
And
Spirit.
Viking Raiders. Eric and Ivar. They started off having a great Ring of Honor run, really establishing themselves there. They dominated over in New Japan, winning tag titles over there. Coming to NXT, having great matches there. Winning the Raw tag titles once they come to Raw in a really big popular debut here. I think the War Raiders are another example of really kind of just establishing themselves and growing and being big. And an interesting two tag team, nice house tag team to add to the list here. So yeah, Eric and Ivar or Hanson and Rowe.
Hanson and Rowe.
All right.
it.
Corey, what do you say about the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders, whatever you want to call them?
Corey, you're tired. If you say yes,
Only
we answer.
because, no, trust me, I'm thinking about it. What my point is, at that time I was not able to be seeing a lot of outside wrestling other than WWE and such. But I always heard of a few teams that always kept coming up, and War Machine was one of the teams that kept coming up. And I would see clips of them whenever I would be surfing on the internet or whatever, trying to catch up on there. So I always saw their name, and I always saw that they were very dominant. Was excited when they came into NXT and WWE. The Viking Experience was a horrible name, and I'm glad that was changed as soon as they could. But yeah, no, I guess I'll say yes for time's sake.
Okay. Bobby, what do you say about the Raiders?
Man, I want to talk to Corey all night, so I might just say no. At least, I actually was exposed to War Machine back in Ring of Honor. One of my first matches I remember seeing when I first started watching Ring of Honor was the Briscoes versus War Machine. And when I tell you that was just pure intensity, like the ending of the matches, Jay Briscoe double stomps Hanson through a table, and Ray Rose on the other side picking up Mark Briscoe with the Uranagi, slamming him through a table, and then they look at each other and they start brawling out. I'm like, they could be one of the most dominant tag teams of all time, and I feel like we still have some time for it. During that span of time, they did a great job standing out. But the only thing is, it kind of felt like they got lost in the mix, and with the WWE booking, they got the short end of the stick because they should have just let them go out there and be War Machine and just beat the hell out of people. But they tried to make them into a gimmick, and I don't feel like it worked. So I kind of want to say no on this one.
Okay, Richie.
Yeah, I love I'm struggling because there's certainly maybe one or two that potentially could, but I just don't find an argument whether they deserve it more or less than the War Raiders. I think while my Ring of Honor exposure was limited, the matches I did see a lot of War Raiders matches, and because War Raiders would keep coming up, and I was impressed. I have a soft spot for big sweaty man that can do athletic shit. I'm glad that they're doing something now, WWE. They won the AEW and the tag titles, but so I'll say yes.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say yes too, because I think we need some guys who held the IWGP tag team titles. And I had either that or another tag team I'll shout out in the honorable mentions that I think you could have made an argument for that were a New Japan kind of centric tag team in the 2010s. So I'll say yes. So we'll put the Warriors on the list. So that does it for the 12. It is closed, but we can go around and get some quick honorable mentions before we actually rank the 12. And since Corey was going to be next, we'll start with Corey. Corey, did you you have any honorable mentions still on the table?
Yeah, just like War Machine, there was another team I always heard a lot of, and I didn't really get a chance to see anything until I was able to catch up later on over time on YouTube and on the internet. I always heard about, and I never understood. Did they call themselves the Red Dragon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
They were on my list too.
I can never, just the way they play, they printed it. I didn't know if they were going Reed. Anyway, them, they were really, really good. And of course, when they were Undisputed Era and NXT, they shined there too. But I looked back on some of their stuff from that time since, and man, those guys are impressive. They were going to be who I was going to say next. Yeah, shout out to them and honorable mention for sure.
All right, Bobby.
All right, if you want to talk about some big meaty man slapping meat, you got to talk about the Killer Elite Squad. KES, Davey Boy, and Lance Archer. I think that they were one of the hidden gems during that era. They were part of Suzuki-gun over in Pro Wrestling Noah, and they ended up going over to New Japan afterwards once Minoru Suzuki got re-signed with basically all of his boys. So honestly, I'm going to have to say Killer Elite Squad.
Okay, Richie?
I got a few here, but I'll narrow it down to a few that I think would have had a shot at getting the list. I think maybe, well, I don't want to steal Peter's thunder, but this is what he could have mentioned. Gallows and Anderson is definitely they were they were very successful in Japan. Just a big cost tag team, still doing pretty well today, and doing stuff in MLW. Another Japan one, Gorillas of Destiny, Tama, really great tag team. I didn't think they had a shot at getting the list, but I want to give a shout out to Ascension because if you go to the main roster run, they were treated as jobbers, but there was a period in NXT where they were awesome. They were the longest running NXT tag champions for a long time there, and they were killers, and they just weren't presented that way when they came to the main roster. And I'll just say the list with AOP, which they're also they were great. So
Yeah, I'm kind of similar to Richie. I think I was debating between the Lucha Bros and Gallows and Anderson because I think Gallows and Anderson's run in New Japan and Ring of Honor and whatnot, could have maybe slid him into qualify here. And then, the one I alluded to, I think that we kind of have danced around. They just didn't have gold was Enzo and Cass only because of their popularity. I mean, I think the fact that they're considering bringing them back, as almost a nostalgia act says at least a lot about how popular they were at the time. Getting broken up for no reason whatsoever when they were still popular and were still a good tag team. Why would you break up something that's working? And they could have made this list how I think they stuck together and, hung around for a little longer as a tag team. So, but I think popularity's sake, there's an argument right there. But JPO?
I think American Alpha, Chad Gable, and Jason Jordan, who are a great tag team in NXT, another great NXT kind of sleeper team. In the WWE as well, the Brotherhood or Cody and Dustin had some really great stuff, and even going into early AEW. Street Profits, I think, were great as well. So great seeing them kind of go from the origins to what they would become. And then outside of WWE too, shout out to the Kingdom. Big fans of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. They did some really good stuff for Ring of Honor. And then really wanted to show some love to LAX or Santana and Ortiz in specific. Santana and Ortiz had a great TNA run that got them into early AEW as well. And then a 3-man band.
That's cool. No, I'm cool with that. 3-man band.
I actually like Heath Slater and Rhino's little run as well. Actually.
I saw some of the lists. They're on one of the lists I saw.
Yeah. All right. So
didn't they have 2 runs too? They had a run in WWE and in TNA.
Then TNA they had a bit of a run too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So I have the list in the private chat. You guys can see it in there. But as far as the tag teams that are on the table for our actual ranking, we've got the Briscoes, we've got the Hardys, Beer Money, The Bar, Young Bucks, New Day, the Usos, DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Revival, the Lucha Bros, and the War Raiders are all on the table for this ranking. And how this is going to work, we'll kind of go in order. And again, we'll rotate the order each time with the person. We'll start with JPO. And what you guys will be nominated is what will your nomination be for number 12? And we'll work on our way down. And if one gets a majority shout, then that will be the number 12. If there's a tie, if there's a 2-2 tie, then the person who did not vote for either or kind of makes the decision on that one. So the person that gets left out gets to kind of make the tie-breaking vote. So that's why we have 5. All right. Well, JPO, kick us off. What would be your nomination for number 12?
The Bar.
Bar. Corey.
Yes, the Bar is number 12.
Bobby.
I'm gonna have to agree with the Bar being at number 12.
Richie.
I'm gonna go War Raiders.
I might have gone War Raiders as well, but the Bar will be number 12. So we will cut them in at number 12. The Bar off the table there. All right, so 12, the Bar. All right, they're off the list. All right, we'll go to Corey, number 11.
After consideration from all the information I got from you guys on my pick for them, I'm putting Motor City Machine Guns at 11.
Machine Guns, Bobby.
I was gonna put War Raiders at 11.
Richie.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with War Raiders.
Yeah, I think the Warriors at 11 is proper. JPO.
Beer Money.
Okay, but the Raiders getting 3 votes. The War Raiders will be number 11. All right, so there you have it. All right, going to number 10. Bobby, what would be your nomination for number 10?
I'm gonna have to put Beer Money at number 10.
Beer Money. Richie?
Machine Gun.
I'm going to go the Machine Guns. JPO?
Beer Money.
Okay, might be on Corey here.
Go with Machine Guns.
Machine Guns. All right, Machine Guns with 3 votes. All right, Motor City Machine Guns at number 10. Machine Guns off the table. All right. All right. We are going to Richie, number 9.
Beer Money.
Yeah, I was thinking Beer Money. JPO?
Beer Money.
Beer Money. Corey?
Beer Money's good.
Beer Money. Bobby?
Yeah, Beer Money's definitely going to number 9.
All right, Beer Money at number 9. That will do that. Beer Money number 9. All right, and that is that. They are off the table. Quick recap of what we have left: the Briscoes, the Hardys, Young Bucks, New Day, Usos, DIY, Revival, and the Lucha Bros. So some strong tag teams on the list. It's only going to get harder as we move it on down. So let's see, where are we at? Me. I'll say the Revival. JPO?
The Hardys.
Hardys. Corey?
Revival.
Bobby?
That's a tough one. I'll say the Hardys.
All right, Richie?
The Hardys.
Hardys with 3 votes will be all right. Hardys at number 8 off the table now. All right, JPO number 7 would be your nomination.
Lucha Bros.
Lucha Bros. Corey.
Oh boy. Let's see. Yeah, Lucha Bros sounds good.
Bobby.
I'll say DIY.
DIY. Richie.
The Revival.
I will also say the Revival. So we have a 2-2 for Revival and the Lucha Bros. So Bobby, you said DIY, right? So,
Oh man.
So of course you have to break the tie here, though. At what goes at number 7, Revival or Lucha Bros?
Oh man, why'd you guys leave? Oh, what? Come on. Oh man, I'm gonna say Revival.
The Revival. Okay. The Revival at number 7. That is that. They are off the table. All right. And we are going to number 6. We got the Briscoes, Young Bucks, New Day, Usos, DIY, and Lucha Bros available here. So I believe we are at Corey. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go with. Wait, can you read them off again? What we have
Yeah.
left?
Yeah. We have the Briscoes, the Bucks, New Day, the Usos, DIY, and the Lucha Bros.
Okay. I'm gonna go with DIY.
DIY. Bobby,
DIY.
Richie.
Lucha Bros.
I will go DIY. JPO.
Lucha Bros.
All right, a close one there, so we might know where this might be going here in a second, but DIY at number 6. And we are into the top 5. Lucha Bros, Usos, New Day, Bucks, and the Briscoes on the table. Bobby, what is your number 5?
Ooh, let's go Lucha Bros.
Richie?
Lucha Bros.
Yeah, I think the 4, I think we're all thinking the same 4 will have to fight over for the 4 spots, so I'll go Lucha Bros. JPO. Yeah.
Yeah, Lucha Bros.
Corey?
Lucha Bros. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of debating the same 4 for like where they go here, and this might be where it gets tricky. All right, so I'm gonna have to even keep like
no one's even mentioned the other 4 yet, right?
That's what I mean. So that's why,
Yeah.
this is gonna get tough here because, and I'm gonna have to even kind of keep little tabs on the side here as we vote. All right, so we are into the top 4, and it's between the Briscoes, the Young Bucks, the New Day, and the Usos. So this is
So
where it gets
literally
really,
the 4 actual best teams of the
the
2010s.
4, yeah, I think the 4. Well, and I think if we had talked about like the 4 kind of shoe-ins for the list, that wouldn't need much debate. You know what I mean? It was going to be like these 4 and then everybody else. So all right, let's see where we go. Richie, I think you're starting this time. Number 4.
The Young Bucks.
Oh man,
We're all gonna have different answers.
for prestige sake, I'm going to say the Young Bucks. JPO.
They did way too much. The Usos.
Corey.
I'm gonna say the Usos as well.
Oh wow.
Oh, dude, what the hell? Oh my God, why do you guys keep putting me in these positions? Oh my God.
I mean, you could say a different one, but then we would still make you break the tie anyway.
I'm gonna have to do it anyway.
So you might as well just break the tie now.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You guys said the Usos or the Young Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. My pick was actually going to be the New Day.
Okay. All right. So your pick is the New Day. Now, Bobby, pick between the Young Bucks.
But I have to pick between the Young Bucks and the Usos. Oh my God. Do I want a machine gun or an AK? Oh my God. I think I'm gonna have to put the Usos at number 4.
Oh, okay. The Usos.
Uzi.
All right,
Yeah.
the Usos at number 4. Okay. All right. Going to the top 3. We have the Bucks, the New Day, and the Briscoes. On me, I'm going to stick with the Bucks. JPO.
Nah, I'm going New Day.
New Day. Corey.
New Day.
Okay. Corey.
Let's do.
Oh, it's not Corey. I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm sorry.
Let's do New Day.
And Richie.
We're going Bucks.
Okay, the New Day with 3 votes at number 3. Okay, the New Day. So it is between the Bucks, who have gotten votes, or the Briscoes. Now we are skipping over number 2, and you are just voting for your number 1. So your number 1 out of the Briscoe brothers and the Young Bucks. So the Jacksons and the Briscoes, the brothers versus brothers. And I believe it's on JPO. We're right back to the start. The Briscoes or the Bucks at number 1. JPO.
The Young Dem Boys, the Briscoes.
Okay. Corey?
Briscoes 100%.
Bobby?
I'm gonna have to go with the Briscoes.
Richie?
Yeah, it was my name coming in here. Thought they were going to do well. And I was hoping they'll get at least on top five. So I'll go Briscoes.
The team I've refed for several times, the Briscoes. I miss you, Jay. The Briscoes. So, all right. So, with that, the Young Bucks at number 2, we'll lock it in there. And your number 1 of the 2010 are the Briscoes. All right. There you go. So, quickly recapping our top 12 of the evening of the 2010s. We got the Bar at number 12. We got the War Raiders at number 11. The Motor City Machine Guns at number 10. We got Beer Money at number 9. The Hardys at number 8. The Revival at number 7. DIY at number 6. The Lucha Bros at number 5. The Usos at number 4. The New Day at number 3. The Young Bucks at number 2. And let's man up with the Briscoes at number 1. So there you go, guys. Excellent work. Fun times all around, and a solid list of tag teams there that I would be happy to have on my roster any day. So yes, there you go, guys. So yeah, that'll wrap up Rank 'em for at least this portion of the show. Like I said, we got some other Lonely March business we'll attend to very quickly, but I know they've got other things to attend to. Corey's a little tired. Bobby's got a little one to attend to. So yeah, we'll let you guys. But please, if you guys have any plugs or parting words, feel free to throw it out there, and then you are free to go, gentlemen. But we appreciate you being here, Corey. Anything you want to throw out there? What you got?
Me and Jordan have a podcast too, and it's called 1,000,001, a pro wrestling podcast, and that comes out on Monday mornings. And you could see us, or you could hear us there. You could hear us on a bunch of different wrestling shows, including Real Pro, including the coming soon Just Wrestling 7. So yeah, and I always have fun coming on here. I'd like you guys to ask me to come back more often. So yeah, no, I had a blast, and I'd only stay up for you guys.
Well, we appreciate it, and yeah, no, I'm sure at some point in the next month or two, we'll wrap up this tag team series, and we'll do the current 2020s tag team series. So yeah,
and I can get the House of Spades in there. Yeah,
yeah, there we go. So you can nominate whoever you want for that. But yeah, we'll finish that up as well. So Bobby, no, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you, man. It was a pleasure having you.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, anything you want to throw out there? What you got?
All right, so I also do have a podcast. It's called the Black Arrow Wrestling Show. It's every Sunday or every other Sunday at 6 p.m. But more importantly, I'm going to be working a few shows in the future, including Establishment, which is going to be June 13th. And then I have another show, Real Pro Wrestling. You guys may or may not have heard about it, June 19th. I think I am going to be wrestling. I may be in the main event. I have not heard yet. We'll see. But I have been wrestling in a few other places, Alabama. So look out for Retinal Pro, Just Wrestling 7, which you'll hear Corey and JPO on. And yeah, just look out for Bobby Chrono because hopefully I'm a big name soon.
All right. No. Well, thank you guys. You are honorary Lonely Marks, and we certainly appreciate you guys coming on. And yeah, we're gonna do more rank 'em stuff in this area. This is one we burned through the male singles wrestlers. We did the women. We pivoted to the tag teams. In the future we could even do just to rank them in general of like factions. We could do managers and valets. We could do all kinds of stuff kind of within this. So we'll do more on those kind of dead weeks where there's not a lot going on. But you guys are free to go. We appreciate you. We're gonna go back to some Lonely Marks.
Thank you.
Corey.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you
so much. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to put you in the
back.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, we're going to get back to some Lonely Marks business real quick. We're going to, let me run down the fantasy scores, and then we'll burn through a few news items, and we'll get out of here for the evening. So just a quick update of the fantasy scores and the rosters. JPO had a very good week. Nice week on Raw and SmackDown, getting a few main events, a few main event victories, and even Richie getting a few title defenses and whatnot. So some pretty good stuff for all you guys. I had the worst week of everybody, so I had Dragon ass way behind. But hopefully the PLEs will kind of pick me back up. I've got 1430 on my totals. Richie with an even 1500, JPO with 1555, and Rhonda still in the lead with 1605. So still 50 points in the lead, hanging on to that. A quick thing, roster wise, I'll still hang on to mine. A lot of my guys, just we're cutting promos and just running and stuff, but they'll probably be on the PLEs, and I got a few people in matches this week, so I do have one roster spot, but I'll hang on to it. Richie, you have no roster spots, so you burned your last one.
Because,
you
burned. I can't have chat cable.
Yeah, you burned your Logan Paul and your El Grande Americano. So, but you do have Miz and Royce Keys now. So, your roster is still solid. And then JPO, you have 4 in the tank if you need them, but not sure if you want to or not. That's up to you.
Well, I'll hold.
Yeah. You're still doing pretty good. You don't have anybody with outstanding injuries or anything.
Probably with AEW, you'll still have like 5 in the chamber.
Yeah. So, he still got some in there. And then Ronda said she was okay. So, just a quick fantasy update. Yeah, I got a few more weeks of TV leading up to Night of Champions, our next PLE. Speaking of which, the only kind of news on the Night of Champions front, we did have a few of those King of the Ring, opening matchups that happened over the last couple of weeks. So as of right now, your bracket stands as Obafemi will be taking on Dominic Mysterio. Poor Dom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Oh, but yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah, we'll get. Actually, I was going to. Don't worry. Keep going.
No, it's fine. And then Javon Evans actually picked up the win in the 4-way over Seth Rollins, Tala Tonga, and Ricky Saints. So Javon Evans will then face the winner of this week. There's a 4-way of Jey Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor. So Javon Evans will then face the winner of that. And on the women's side of things, Liv Morgan, the champion. Again, don't really understand why the champion is in the Queen of the Ring tournament, but Liv Morgan moved on. She will face the winner of a 4-way of Sol Ruka, Lyra, Charlotte Flair, and Jade Cargill. And then on the other side, we have our next set singles matchup, Raquel Rodriguez taking on Io Sky. So the winner of that. And the finals of everything will end up at Night of Champions. So just a few things on that front. And then on
Raquel won that.
I think there's an outside chance, to kind of keep the Judgment Day stuff going. I think there's certainly an outside chance of that. And then I'll just mention quickly before I throw it to JPO. Over on the AEW side of things, we had some Forbidden Door stuff go down over on there. Or Owen Hart, the finals are set. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay rematch going down at Forbidden Door, so that is locked in for the pay-per-view. And our first official couple of matches outside of that, Kenny Omega taking on Zack Sabre Jr. is officially announced for Forbidden Door. That should be a hell of a match. And this some kind of 12-man cage match with like Mark Briscoe's team and MJF's team.
Mark Briscoe wins a title shot. Hopefully it's not maybe on pay-per-view, not just on random Dynamite. But yeah,
I think what I think it'll be, Richie, is they've got that new pay-per-view coming in between.
Yeah.
All in and that what is it, Redemption or something, whatever it's called, is that what it's called, something like that. I could see him getting his title shot at that new pay-per-view, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of an in-between right before, he probably won't win the title, we can talk about that if I had to make an early prediction, but I could see him challenging at that new pay-per-view, and I think that would be fine. So I could actually see that happening, yes. But all right, so just a few minor notes. Not a huge news week, but JPO, I'll throw it to you and for some news bits because I didn't pull a whole I didn't pull like a whole lot of like major stories, but I'm sure you got plenty of little tidbits. So what you got for us?
I don't have a shit ton myself this week either here. Just scouring, kind of looking at movies though. I don't know if this has been reported yet, but first he fought Conor McGregor. Jake Gyllenhaal's going to be fighting Batista in the next Roadhouse movie here, so they have greenlit Roadhouse 2. Also, this was kind of funny. It already has been reported Batista will be in the next Highlander along with Drew. So not only double wrestler, but Batista will also be playing Kurgan, who was a wrestler. So I thought that was funny to see Batista as Kurgan. Hey, Pez or Richie, did you guys see Disclosure Day?
No, because it just came out tonight. I have not seen it yet.
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Well, guess
probably
what?
Saturday, yeah.
If you ever get to play 6 Degrees and someone says, "Oh, fuck you," why don't you do Brian Cage and Tom Hanks? You can in one. Brian Cage and it was in Disclosure Day with Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt was in fucking Charlie Wilson's War with Tom Hanks. Boom. Because there's evidently a wrestling scene with Brian Cage, Lance Archer, and Chavo Guerrero Jr. So actually similar again. I believe it starts the movie. From what I've heard.
So of all things to start a Steven Spielberg alien movie, there's a wrestling scene. I'm
A
interested
wrestling
now.
scene. That's what it sounds
Yeah.
like. I mean, it's similar, in fact, to what I was just saying. Highlander. Remember, Highlander starts with him.
Yeah, the Freebirds.
Freebirds match of all people.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
something like that. Just all of a sudden, Brian Cage,
you know,
Lance Archer, and Chavo. Chavo.
You know what?
Are they watching Lucha Underground?
I mean, it sounds like they were watching Don Callis' Family and then Chavo.
Wouldn't it be cool if they did, the new Highlander and still did the same thing? If they opened with another like wrestling scene,
Oh, yeah.
and,
should.
just add some random wrestling show with whoever. Yeah, just doing wrestling. That'd
Is
be
Don
awesome.
Callis' family is a faction? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's interesting to see. So yeah, I have not seen it either, so I don't know if it's at like an actual AEW or not. But I have seen Margot's Got Money Troubles though. Chris Jericho does pop up there because Nick Offerman plays a former pro wrestler. He is the lead character's dad, and he tangles with Jericho and Nicole Kidman. So again, if you ever wanted to see Jericho fight Nicole Kidman, that's a real thing. That's currently on Apple Plus. A couple quick title changes here. Shotzi Blackheart is your new MLW Women's Champion. As I also reported to, they did drop the featherweight part. Told you, Richie. How dare you try to doubt me?
No. They did on this episode. They weren't on the last episode. And,
they did, though. They did. They never called it the featherweight title. It's still on the title itself, but every graphic and every word, no one said it. Stout doubting JPO.
And she won it. She won it. It aired, but due to the TV schedule, she won it in February. But yeah.
All right, well, who cares? It's on TV. You know what I mean.
And
Zarya is your new NXT Women's North American Champion. And it did kind of seem like Tatum Paxley was the saying adieu to the crowd, supposedly, after the tapings ended. So wouldn't be surprised if Tatum Paxley is making her Raw or SmackDown debut at some point as well. I don't know if you guys have an extra $3.9 million laying around, but y'all want to buy the Hogan mansion? Just saying.
No.
It dropped in price. It was over 4. It's only 3.9. So let me know.
Okay.
Keep it in mind.
What a discount.
And then finally, the last thing I have at the moment here is while we were talking, JBL was wrestling. OVW just celebrated their 1,400th episode. 1,400 episodes for OVW television here. They've been airing locally for that long, and more recently too, they do drop just on YouTube, so you can literally go and watch that match now. And I actually technically watched it while we were doing tag teams. He's in a t-shirt and he's not moving great, but you know what? Good for JBL. I looked up too. I thought that was his first match back since 2009. But he did do that one battle royal I reported on back in November. And he actually was in a 6-man tag. Here's the thing. He teamed up with Warlord and Barbarian. That's right. Warlord and Barbarian are still taking bookings. So that was a 6-man tag that happened last month.
It looked like he was going to do something like earlier because he showed up in TNA and gave like. Yeah,
there's a moment where he's literally making the rounds. He's popping up in TNA. He's popping up in Game Changer. He's popping up on like MCW in Maryland. Like, yeah, there's a moment where like that was just his thing. He'd show up, kind of like look stoned face, like not really giving away if he's a heel or a face, clothesline a fool, and then leave. That's what he did for like 6 months. Because I thought he was going to wrestle last year because that was 2025 that he started doing all that. Like he did a Cardona and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It was didn't go anywhere. But it was interesting. You take Joe Henry and TNA. Interesting.
Yep, now and nowhere has never wrestled for TNA. Yeah, so I don't know if he had different plans or if it was just simply like. I mean, I guess I would do that if JBL was like, "Hey, want me to get in the ring and close on a fool?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure."
I have a wrestler in a movie news thing that I stumbled across, JPO. So Chelsea Green will be in a horror movie upcoming soon. So she's been in a few small projects here and there, but she's gonna be in a new movie called Red Wedding, not to be confused with the Game of Thrones episode, the Red Wedding episode, but a movie called Red Wedding, kind of a home invasion thriller from what I can tell, a homicidal kind of bride and groom invade a place, start terrorizing people. But it does actually star Lauren Lavera from the Terrifier movies, the main girl from the Terrifier movies. So she's in there, and Rory Culkin. So at least a few notable names, as far as horror.
Oh, that's a real name. Okay, Rory.
Yeah. Rory
that
Culkin,
Rory.
yeah.
I was thinking of Karen. Never mind. It's a less hot one.
But Lauren Lavera has horror cred. She's in the Terrifier movie, so she's got some horror cred to her name. But it's my only thing that gives me hesitation. It's directed by Josh Stolberg, who had some credits as a writer, some decent like horror credits and things. He wrote the last couple of Saw movies, Saw X and Spiral, Jigsaw, things like that. And he wrote Good Luck Chuck and Piranha 3D. But yeah, his directing credits are the only thing that give me a little hesitation because he directed the Hungover Games, really bad thing. And then his most recent thing is that terrible 50 Cent horror movie Skill House that came out last year in limited release.
Oh yeah, that movie where it didn't look like 50 Cent didn't want to be in.
He literally phoned in his role on his phone, like he called in his role on his phone, and then he sued the production for using his stuff later. I don't know, there was some dispute when he ended up suing the company.
That's the only thing I knew was that about this movie. Yeah, I was gonna say, what is this? Right.
Skill House, it didn't actually super come out. It was one of those 1 night or 2 night Fathom event things or whatever. I didn't want to go.
It looked like shit.
It looked like shit.
I don't know.
It looked really bad.
I'm sadly gonna watch it for Chelsea. Well, I mean, it could be good. I mean, prove me wrong, might be good, but I'm gonna watch for Chelsea. Otherwise, I probably would have skipped this.
Yeah. So,
but it's interesting. You said bride and groom. I wonder if she's got experience being she could be Laura Burness.
But she apparently she's already filmed her part in it, so I don't think it's a huge part, but she's already filmed it and it's still in production. She might just have a death scene. I mean, who knows? It could just be a thing like that, but we'll see. Chelsea Green and then Red Wedding. So now for that, if it goes straight to streaming, I don't know. We'll see where it ends.
Sounds like a straight to streamer, but we'll see what happens.
Could be a straight to streamer. Yeah, I don't see this one being a big release. That's the only kind of other quick note I have. Richie, do you have anything?
I mean, there's the one big one, which I mean, it shouldn't surprise. Another week, another person leaving TNA. Steve Macklin, after his release, he got it. I saw a video that guy like Mikey D uploaded. Apparently, did you know ever since the WWE and TNA had a started relationship, 50 people have left that company, 50 wrestlers since 2024. That is, they're not doing great, but apparently Steve Macklin hasn't been happy with the direction for a while. He left, so big ups to him. He definitely raised his stock after being released as Steve Cutler. He proved that. I was really impressed with his work. He's a really good wrestler. It'd be interesting to see where he goes because obviously his wife Deanna Brothers in AEW, more Ring of Honor, but I don't know whether he follows her there.
I don't know. I think if WWE is interested, you go there because I don't think she wants to be there any longer either.
She does publicly complain about it, about her position there, which I don't blame her, to be fair. And
I think it's one of those unfortunate things. It's kind of a blindside where she signed an AEW contract. She didn't wasn't really expected to just be then thrown on the D show Ring of Honor. So I kind of get it when someone's like, "Hey, I probably could have just been a bigger star and stayed with TNA if I knew you were just going to put me in Ring of Honor."
I was the head of the division in TNA. Basically, I was So we'll see where Macklin ends up. I don't know, man. It's weird. TNA has handed this probably the second best TV deal they've had in their history, probably behind the Spike TV deal. They've had WWE backing and the TV is arguably worse than it was before they had the deal. I don't know how that fucking happens, but they find a way to screw the pooch every time, and it's just TNA is going to TNA. And yeah, there's like if you watch the show, there's like nothing happening. There's no feud. There's like people don't really have feuds. It's the same. Like if you watch the market, it's the same formulaic show all the time. The system comes out. They cut a promo, and then matches just happen. But there's no like rhyme or reason for matches. And then we end the show. So well, like why would anybody kind of watch this? There's no buzz about TNA, and there should be buzz about TNA. They're on a good network. And yeah, it's just I don't know what like yeah, it's very frustrating because there's potential there. They've got good wrestlers, but I don't know why they keep squandering their big opportunities. But you know, you get one. That is what it is. And the other thing I had is you know we talked about we've obviously a few weeks ago when those mass releases talking about mass releases. Apparently Alba Fire, the former Alba Fire, Kaylee Ray, her contract just expired because she did show up on a Pro Wrestling Eve show in, I think it was in UK. So she is available to wrestle now, as she has wrestled since then. So you know, you might see her pop up here, you know, in the promotion here and there. She would be a good addition to, well, you know, any maybe AEW or Impact or. Yeah, because WWE certainly didn't use her to her best abilities. Just you know, like in NXT UK, you can see that she's really quite a good wrestler. So yeah, hopefully you know it should be a good pickup for some promotion. So yeah, got that, and yeah, that's pretty much all. I had other things were just sort of have already been discussed. So yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't really have much else, so we can kind of wrap up the show there. I don't have a whole lot going on. I don't know. Yeah, we have kind of another dead week. We can kind of do whatever you guys want. If anybody has a suggestion, or I can find another fun kind of tier ranker thing, you know, maybe on the tier rankers we could do. Or
tiering something might be fun. We've done that.
Yeah. I've perused the tier ranker websites of stuff that other people have made before and found some fun stuff. Yeah. You know, maybe I could find like a. I've been thinking about, you know, I mentioned the faction thing, maybe like a tier ranker of like wrestling factions. I think that could be kind of fun. You know, like, yeah, you know, and just I'm sure there's some that are already made. Otherwise, I can make one, you know, and kind of find some lists, things like that. You know, just not too many. Get 40 or 50. We can breeze through them. You know, just boom, 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 boom. You know, kind of a thing. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, in the future, because I obviously not next week, but in the future, because I don't know if we actually finished our women's one. I think did we do the 90s? I think we're going to do the 90s. Or it's 2000.
We did the 90s. We did the 2000s. I think we didn't do the 2010s yet, so we could have.
That's where it's finally getting hard.
Yeah. I think the 2001, the 90s weren't terribly difficult, but yeah.
We did. So we put 90s and 2000s in the one thing because we couldn't do 8.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot there. So,
and so we have 2010s, and then we haven't done current. So, I mean, that's something in the future.
Yeah, we can bounce between those two for sure. Yeah, we can we'll do one or the other. But yeah, 2010s will get tricky with the women's revolution and everything kind of stepping up their game for sure. So we could definitely do that in the future. But yeah, maybe I'll find a fun tier ranker or something for us to do. You know, next week just to kill some time, have a little fun, or come up with a game or something. We'll do something just to have a little goofy good time. Let's wrap it up there. And we have fun time with Rankum and. Not much else to talk about. So, Richie, anything you want to plug? Parting words before we get out of here?
Before we go on here, I was with Pez on My Love Horror, and I was also with JPO, who's co-hosting on playing Jeopardy, and the fun time. So check that out. Next week we'll be back on Wheel of Movies talking about. I swear Austin has ring the wheel, but a lot of his favorites are coming up lately. And so
I swear, I had other people on the stream when we did it after the show, so I think we naturally spun the Phantom. That happened. So yes,
the Phantom, So yeah, we're gonna talk about the Phantom. I don't think I've seen that since I was a kid, so it's been an interesting rewatch. And
It's fun. It's fun,
yeah,
man. It's fun.
so yeah, check that out. And other than that, I think I've got a team. Me and Steve Ships that are going to be taking on Team Shampoo is Better, consisting of JPO and Rick Weaver,
That's right.
and hosted by
Sunday, Wednesday. When are we fighting?
Monday night at 9 p.m.
Monday. Oh fuck, neither one. Sweet Monday.
Cool.
So I'll be writing questions this weekend in between
yeah.
stuff. So yeah, I've already got started. So the way I write it, it's easy because I you know me, I flow my questions from like one to the other. It makes it kind of fun, kind of bounce all over the place. It's a good time. I like doing it.
So check that out. And other than that, I pop up here and there on the various channels. People's near me. So yeah, cool. And I'll be if you're around the area and you happen to be watching this in the very rare chance you're watching this and you're in the area, hang out with me and why not watch Disclosure Day or Tuna, which comes out, which is the Leo, that Dustin Hoffman Leo Woodward film. So yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. JPO.
Yeah, involved in the world of wrestling here. Yeah, as said, kind of produced by Bobby Corona, the current legacy champion of RBW, Real Pro. We were back live next Friday in Fort Myers, Florida. So near there, come check us out there. Me, Corey, Bobby, many others. And then same thing too. Me and Corey just started recording commentary for Just Wrestling, a really fun series produced by Argus Artois, your current FIP world champion. So that should be dropping sometime in the next week as well. And then, August just was on his podcast recently, with the Ridiculous podcast. That's always a crazy time too with him. Not for your kids. We curse a lot. And follow the Pearsco channel, some movie trivia. Me and Richie will be fighting each other to the death, Richie, or probably just answer some questions real nicely. One of the two.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a good thing I'm a referee. I'll keep the peace the best I
can.
Yeah. So I'll go right down the middle. That'll be fun. You can mostly find me over on the Movie Hero Network, kind of hosting or co-hosting all sorts of stuff. We'll be wrapping up Ross's tournament tomorrow night with his championship. I'll be taking off next Tuesday for Jordan's poster tournament because I hosted 3 episodes in a row while he was gone. So I'm taking the night off. And then, we'll be back with Steve Carell versus John C. Reilly. So that should be an interesting tournament. And then I'll be doing some watch-alongs with Ryan Permison. It's a month of Fast and Furious. So the anniversary of the original Fast and Furious, 25th anniversary tomorrow night. And then Tokyo Drift has an anniversary, 20th anniversary of that the following week. And then Fast 5, the 15th anniversary. So
is this channel associated with Movie Hero? Because I see the channel links up sometimes.
Sometimes what we can do is sometimes when he's streaming, there's actually a thing on StreamYard where I can stream it on the Movie Hero Network as well. So I can co-stream like his stream. Like I can if there's nothing else going on that channel at the time, I can throw the stream on our channel as well, if that makes sense, like sort of thing. So I've done that occasionally as long as it doesn't overlap.
That's why I see that. I'm like, movie Hero and it's Ryan Permison.
Yeah, I just do it because sometimes a couple of people from the Movie Hero tune in anyway, so it just makes it easier for people to find it. So that's all, and I'm on a good chunk of those, so I just throw it up there sometimes. That's all I really got. So we'll wrap it up there for tonight until we come back with next week, and we'll find something fun to do next week after the news. We'll wrap it up there for tonight. So thank everybody for tuning in, and for anybody who might watch this in the future, we certainly appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, and thanks for joining us. So for Richie Goodacre, I have been Austin Pez Howell, and for JPO, Jordan Owens. He's the real anchor of the group. We know that because he brings those news tidbits and everything. We appreciate that as always. But we love you guys more than you ever know. I'm going to steal JPO's line. Bye.